And we are back on Professional Wrestling, the
Ayo.
podcast. And Happy New Year. Happy
Oh,
2024.
New year, new you.
New
me.
year, new you. And he's back. And this is the man who's going to conquer 2024, trained by the one and only Rip Impact. He is your guy, superstar, Hamilton Pro Wrestling, the Mason Rush. Mason, welcome back.
It's good to be here. It's good to be back in the new year. Fresh start, fresh year of wrestling, fresh ass kickings. That's everybody's gift at HPW for Mason this year. Mainly Careless Dynasty, mainly Tantrum.
Well, when I'm walking down the streets of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, wherever I'm traveling, people are like, whoa, you know Mason Rush? I'm like, do I know Mason Rush? I'm just his manager, you know? And you're my favorite and my only client. But hey, man, God blessed me with a fantastic client and a great friend. And you know what, buddy? It's going to be so fun to watch you sail straight to the moon.
2024 is going to be a big one for us. Not to mention the chosen book.
Well,
6 Commandments.
The Bible 3.0, the 6 commandments of the chosen life. So this is the stuff that I eat, breathe, and sleep, and this is what created me. And you're mentioned in the book. So
I was going to say, there's some of Mason Rush in every copy of the Bible 3.0.
You have touched that book, and you've touched me in my life, buddy, and you helped me strive towards my greatest life, and I thank you for that. And for those people that are ready for 2024 to make their best life possible, Amazon.ca, Barnes & Noble, hit it up. In stores January 18th, but you can buy it on pre-sale. It's available. Physical book, ebook, audiobook.
What?
The Bible 3.0.
What?
You heard it. You heard it. But 2024, man, I got to ask you. So you eat, train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. You're all set. You finished your first year of professional wrestling under your belt. Now, when you sit down, Mason Rush, and you pull out that piece of paper and you write on 2024 resolutions, walk us through the mind of a professional wrestler. You look ahead to the year. It's now January. You have a whole year ahead of you. What is your New Year's resolutions, man? What are you striving towards in life and especially in professional wrestling?
Well, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said that I just want to learn how to be a pro wrestler. Maybe do a match, right? Most people in their first year wrestling, they get into a ring, they learn the ropes, no pun intended, and they're lucky, you know, if they hopefully hop in a match, a gauntlet match, a rumble match, and then from there, you see what direction you go in as a wrestler, as a pro wrestler. And I was fortunate enough to keep compounding off the success of every show prior, which led to my first singles match, which again, as a new wrestler in your first year of ever doing it, is kind of unheard of to be doing at that level for an organization as prestigious as Hamilton Pro Wrestling.
Like, let's be honest, man. Like, you're doing a rumble, you're doing a over the top battle royal, right? You got a 6-man tag. It's a very different dynamic because, man, you're in the ring, one opponent, it's just the two of you. There's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. You're the show. And I got to tell you, I went back and watched that match several times now. And I got to say, man, you just nailed it. You looked so natural out there. The fans were loving it. You got a nice little following going. You know, people in Hamilton Pro Wrestling and around the internet is buzzing. Like, who's the guy with the bod? Who's this Mason Rush?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have, I mean, local fans, obviously my own friends and family, but my first show was who was there? My manager and his family. Since then, much bigger crowds. The shows have been selling out. I mean, some say coincidence, some say Mason Rush, but you know, the last show we went to couldn't buy tickets online anymore. Full sellout, and we had to add extra chairs, extra tickets, and it was the best show that I've ever seen. And leading into that singles match where, again, yeah, there's nowhere to hide. It's one-on-one. There's no partner. There's no one to take your slack. It is what it is. You have everybody in that stadium, in that audience, watching you. And in my case, thankfully, most of them wanted me to win, and I'm glad I did. But on top of that, right, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get interacting with my fans and the people in the stands, even people who don't like me, which there aren't many, but there are some. It is what it is. But yeah, no, it was a great experience, and I can't wait to do it again. It was really good. I just hope that Tantrum stays in the ring this time, so we actually get to square off.
Well, you were the first guy on the hot chair here, by the way, but you weren't the only, because the only Hamilton Pro Wrestling champion, Bruiser Battersby, was watching our
boy.
videos.
Yeah.
And he was here on this seat as well.
Yeah.
Bruiser joined us, and we got to film a couple episodes with him. And I got to say, man, real down-to-earth dude, and it was a real pleasure to see him. Wouldn't want to mess with him in the ring, but
Nope.
but you know what? He shared his stuff, and he's a real big fan of yours. He said, "Watch Mason Rush and where he's headed. He's a believer, man, and
yeah.
for good reason."
He's. I mean, we've talked about this. I could talk about it all day. How great of a guy Bruiser Battersby is. I'm sure he doesn't want me saying that, but because he's got a reputation to protect and a belt to hold, and massive cage match against Tyler Arrow coming up. I don't know if you had to be at the last show to hear that news, but if you weren't, our next HPW show, the main event's going to be for the title, the two of them, and no interference. No one's coming in to save either of them because it's a cage match. One man will walk out of there with the belt, and I think it's going to be my boy Bruiser.
I hope Tyler has his health insurance paid up, because I don't
Me
know.
too.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to be in a cage with Bruiser Battersby.
Right. Tell me. So imagine how lucky this would be, right? You have a federation that you're part of, Hamilton Pro Wrestling,
Yeah.
where you have Tyler Arrow, who was just voted Courage Wrestling's Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations to that. That was well done. He fights every match against Bruiser Battersby, a great friend of mine who's trained me personally in the ring for months. So I'm learning from the champion of HPW. I'm learning from the wrestler of the year for Courage Pro Wrestling. And I have some pretty good people in my corner. And it wouldn't surprise me if down the line I start tag matching with my boys, because it's about time. And I've already got the camo shorts ready to go.
I could tell you, man, if I'm Careless Dynasty and I'm hearing these words, I'm getting very, very nervous.
I would too.
And you know what? If I'm Junior and I'm seeing your physique and what you're doing in the ring, I would try to hit you up after the match and say, I think I made the wrong choice here. Is there any way we could kind of match up? I don't know. It might be that ship may have sailed for Junior.
Yeah, Junior showed his true colors, and we taught him a lesson. And won't be the only time he ever learns that lesson if he keeps coming after me. He is no doubt a big, strong guy, but I'll keep coming back. Right? There's no keeping me down. He tried. Usually when I'm not looking, but when you're face to face with me, that spear isn't as easy to hit. Right? I've taken 2 of them.
And you got right back up. Got right back up.
There's a lot. Travis Moore hits a little bit harder than that, if I'm not gonna lie. Right? Like, there's a lot of people in HPW that I'm a little more afraid of than Junior.
Look, there's another guy who's looking at his calendar and seeing that 2024 is here, and he's saying to himself, this is not going to be a great year for me, and that's Tantrum, because he's watched you slide out of the ring, bust your head open, keep going, and still come back, then fight Junior, come out of there with the W. Tantrum is only going to be able to run for so long. I don't think it's going to be a great year for him when he ends up in the ring with you.
Yeah, no. When they saw me come out from under that ring covered in my own blood, I'm pretty sure they thought I was just going to pack it in and call it a night. But there was no chance in that. The ref came up to me. He said, "How you doing? You're gushing blood. I'm going to call the match." I said, "Absolutely not. I will not leave like this. We're finishing the match." Hop back in, and we did what we had to do. And I didn't win that particular match, but I wasn't quitting. There's 0 quit in Mason Rush.
Folks, just so you understand here, there was nowhere for packets or anything. This was blood. I was sitting right by the ramp. I was ready to go jump in the car, take you to the hospital. I was all set to go. You were stumbling back to the ringside from ringside.
Barely made it.
Dude, you collapsed on there, and I'm like, this is not good. And you still continued that match. And all the credit to you. That's the kind of heart you have. And that's the heart of a future champion.
If it wasn't for Kyle and Lucas and Patrick helping me to the back, covered in my own blood, I couldn't see where I was going. I could see blurs of the fans freaking out, scared. So I heard somebody say, "Call an ambulance," but it didn't matter. We were getting to the back, we were taking care of it, and that was it. And big thanks to Hamilton Pro Wrestling emergency team was on call to take full care of everything that needed to be done.
Amazing. So now, getting back to that list, we got that 2024 resolution list, right? And again, folks, that's at Mason Rush 33. That's your boy. Send him your questions, your comments. You've seen him at Hamilton Pro Wrestling. You've watched the clips. Anything you want to know in the mind of a wrestler, he wants to hear from you. And you might be lucky, might even respond. But this time around, I got to ask you, what is in set for you for 2024? Where do you see you headed? And what are the big goals for this year?
2024, Mason Rush is going to branch out into different organizations, different federations. He's going to wrestle different wrestlers, different people, different sizes, all kinds of backgrounds. As you've seen, I've only wrestled massive, huge, strong people. No one my height, size, no one smaller. Not that I care, because I'll take on anyone, really. But 2024 will be more people will get to see Mason Rush in action, and we'll end the year with some sort of gold, whether that's a tag team with my boy Bruiser, Jax Williams, or someone else that I'll meet along the way, or if by chance somebody's able to take the title off of Bruiser, I'll go avenge that for him, get it back, and bring it back to our side. But other than that, I mean, it's train hard, compete. And anyone that wants a fight will have it in any federation.
You were mentioning that when you started off your journey, and it was the end of 2022 going into 2023, could you really sit here and imagine that it could have gone this well? Like in everything that you planned, and as far as the training and development, I would say everything I thought for you, man, everything as your manager, what I had planned for you in my mind, you far exceeded all those goals. And it goes to show how hard work and determination pays off.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think you were probably one of the only people that believed I could do what I said I was going to do that night when we went to Raw. And I literally was watching it going, I'm going to do this. And you said to me, I think you can. It's going to take a ton of work, but I think you can. And, after lots of time trying to find the right place to go and learning and growing, we found Hamilton Pro Wrestling, which molds wrestlers into the best that they can be. And forever grateful for Rip Impact, forever grateful for Hamilton Pro and Hamilton Pro 2.0, which I'm sure everyone will find out about soon, which is very exciting, and check back with Hamilton for that.
It's amazing how things evolve in life. And I'm going to sum up today's episode by telling you, when you speak that, first of all, it warms my heart. But at the end of the day, it's when you're looking at somebody, it's a reflection of yourself. When I look at you, man, I see the best me possible. I get that kind of motivation. If I can give you that kind of motivation back,
absolutely
fantastic. And in the Bible 3.0, the book that you need to get for 2024, this book, in one of the chapters, we have strictly about manifestation and the idea of how you can visualize something, constantly picture it in your mind, never let it go, and it can come to fruition. I can tell you, man, without manifestation, we're not sitting here in the studio. We're not filming this podcast. This podcast does not exist. There's no Mason Rush. There's no Bible 3.0. Manifestation is a very, very powerful tool. You do it. I do it. And now you need to do it in 2024.
That's it. Starts with tools from this book and being a good person.
Congratulations, buddy, on a fantastic 2023. We're really excited what's to come for Mason Rush in 2024. And stay tuned, folks. We're going to be so active on social media and showing you all the highlights and all the great matches that are coming on store for you. And come back next week. We'll have more topics for you and interesting surprises on Professional Wrestling, the podcast.